So glad that you're going to be joining me today for this live free script analysis for auditioning class. So welcome. I'm Los Angeles coach Sandra K. Horner. I've been in the industry for 40 years. Believe it or not, it has been 40 years. Maybe a little longer than that. I've been teaching for over 30 years. And I've been here in Los Angeles for 22 years now. And loving, of course, Los Angeles and the wonderful weather that we're having today. As you come in, please let me know where you're coming in from. What part of the world are you joining me from? So welcome today. I appreciate it. Do you have the script, kids? That's what I want to know. Do you have the free script? Hopefully you'll get it. I did pin a comment that can let you contact me for the free script. So email me. Here's my little sign too. I have my little sign. Sandra@skhperformancestudio.com. And then my website is skhperformancestudio.com. So SKH Performance Studio, that's my initial, Sandra K. Horner. And that will get you to the in-depth classes and the different types of classes that I'm teaching right now or getting ready to teach. So those that, and then it's also pinned in the comments section, you guys. So if you want, email me. I can't get you the script right this second, but I will get it to you as soon as possible. So welcome. I'm so glad you guys are joining me today to get better at script analysis. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about a very important part of script analysis, not the whole thing. There's a lot to it, and if you'd like to learn a very in-depth approach to script analysis, the craft and the business, then I'd love for you to work with me in my 12-week class that's called, I do it over Zoom. It's script analysis, auditioning, marketing, and meditation. So I cover a lot in that 12-week class. And so that gets you ready to book more, to get turn auditions, especially those self-tapes, into bookings, into callbacks that turn into bookings, so that you begin to have a strength. And casting directors and agents go to you first before they go to any other clients before they start submitting, because they know you will deliver. So that's the type of teaching and the classes that I teach at the studio. And I'll talk a little bit more about those later, because I have free classes, some more free classes that I want to talk to you about. So stay tuned to the end of our class today, and I'll tell you about my free classes, as well as the cyber sale I'm having right now, 60% off private coaching with me. You can save, it's live, it's via Zoom, the private coaching, and you can save $115. This is a really good sale, kids, so I hope you'll take me up on it, because I generally just do this site, put my private coaching on sale generally just once a year around the holidays. So welcome. I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving that's coming in from the U.S. And then I wanted just to tell you just a little bit about me, if you don't know. I trained in New York. I'm from Kentucky, and I moved to New York to model, and then I got into acting. And I did a lot of off-Broadway, just a lot of work, a lot of training, a lot of great training. And there I had the good fortune to train directly with Robert Lewis. And Robert Lewis taught Meryl Streep, Marlon Brando, Montgomery Clift. Was about 80 years old when I worked with him. So sharp as a tack. And he wouldn't at that time let anybody else teach his technique. So you had to interview with him. He would interview 500 actors and only take 20 on. So it was a joy and a privilege just to sit in his class and let him talk. But his script analysis, I'm Meissner trained as well. And then when I took Bobby's class, it really took the guesswork out of script analysis for me. So I really became easier for me, and I want to make it easy for you too. So what we're doing today is one part of my 6 steps to quick script analysis. So in that 12-week in-depth class, I teach you 6 steps to quick script analysis, 5 steps to a successful audition. And then when you're cast, I teach you 7 steps, 1 extra step that you need to break down the whole entire script from your character's point of view as well. so that you have that full understanding of the script and what your character's purpose is in that story of the script. So that's about it about me. And then from there, well, I guess I could tell you a little bit more. I went from New York after 10 years of being in New York. I went to Minneapolis, and that's where I founded my studio, my performance studio, and I began directing and producing there and writing. And I created, with a couple other people, a mock 3D sketch variety show, as well as some other television concepts. And that's what brought me here to Los Angeles. And I've been into some really big rooms to pitch: Paramount, Sony, Comedy Central, HBO, CBS, Bravo. I mean, that's just a few. I don't have a list of all the places that I've been. I've been to Paramount a couple times pitching, and it's a really great thing to be able to get into these big studios and let them hear your ideas. And so I feel very fortunate about that. So if there's writer producers listening and you've got an idea that you're trying to gel or you're getting ready to pitch, you can also use that cyber private coaching for me to help you with that as well. So it's a very exciting time to be in the entertainment business, isn't it? There's a big entertainment boom happening. Yay! So being ready for it is very important. And if you're getting a lot of auditions but you're not getting called back, you probably need my help, because we can turn those auditions into callbacks and those callbacks into bookings. Okay? So that's a little bit about my journey. And right now, I of course acted a lot in New York, directed, produced, and started writing in Minneapolis. And here I concentrate on my writing and producing, as well as my teaching, which I love actors and I love the craft. I love entertainers. I love the show business. As crazy as it is, the business, I do love it. And I love being here in Los Angeles, which is the Mecca. And there's so many creative people here. You can feel the creative force here in Los Angeles. But I know many actors want to get out here. You guys want to get out to LA? I need to move to LA. You can start. LA will call you. Don't worry. Start right where you are in the market that you're in right now and get going in it. Start doing work in it. Start building your resume in it. And become a big fish in a little pond right where you're at. And some of you guys are in bigger ponds. Some of you guys might be in Atlanta, New York, Chicago. You still can make a big splash in those ponds so that people know who you are. And I can help you with that too if you want to come work with me in a more in-depth way. So today we're going to be justifying a script. Okay, so we're going to start to talk about one aspect of script analysis today, which one aspect I love to do is justifying a script. And so the definition of justification, you guys, is to give yourself a reason for why you say what you say and why you do what you do. To give yourself a reason for why you say what you say and why you do what you do. Okay? So in other words, it's giving yourself a reason why your character does and says what she or he or they say and do. Okay? And we do that through character background work. So we begin to do character background work. Some of you guys might have heard other terms for it. Excuse me, my throat's scratchy about something. But anyway, it will give you the character background work is what I was talking about. So character background work is writing a story about your character. A lot of it's just memories, right? That's what we have. Stella Adler said we should know our characters almost as well as we know ourselves. So when you do this type of history, this type of memories of why you do and say, which we're going to talk about in this script, it begins to weight your words. So we really begin to believe you are who you say you are. Okay? So I hope you guys are out there listening and you're commenting and you're saying hello. I don't see any comments yet, but please, please, I hope you guys will say hello to me. I hope I haven't messed up something on my, I'm putting a permanent, what do I want to say? A permanent comment on here, and then I can't see your all's comments. So if you're out there, say hello so I can know my comments are working. So that would help me too. So I appreciate that as well. Appreciate your help in that. So I'm looking. Well, here's somebody I think saying hello. Who is it? Who's saying hello to me? Nicole, Savannah. Hi, you guys. Oh, thanks for commenting. Hi, Nicole. I just emailed you last night. Yay. Okay, good. Thanks, guys. I get where I feel kind of lonely. Oh, Debbie, you made it. All right. Debbie from Tulsa. I hope your self-tape went really well for you today. Who else is here saying hi to me? Thanks for saying hi, Savannah. Tracy, thanks for saying hi. Sounds keeps cutting in and out from me. Uh-oh. Is anybody else having issues with sound? Let me close some things here and see if it makes a difference. I got a couple things running. Maybe that's slowing me down. Let's see. I don't know if that's going to help or not. My frame rate's too low. Not sure what that's about. So let me know if you guys are still having, if you still have audio issues with this service. It's blotchy. Oh, you're from Canton, Ohio. Hi, Nicole. Well, thanks for coming in from Ohio. My next door neighbor from when I grew up, Ohio. I grew up right on the Ohio River, across from Portsmouth, Ohio, if you've ever heard of. I've heard of Canton, Ohio, too, so great. Rachel? Is that how you say your name? Is spelled differently. Hi, you're watching from Indiana. All right. I got my peeps coming from the Midwest, and I appreciate that. You're watching your daughter. Okay, great, Tracy. Gemma? Is that how you say Gemma? Hi, sweetie. Thanks for watching, you guys. Brad's here. All right, everybody's coming in. Indiana wants me. So it's cutting out, you guys. I apologize. I don't know what's going on with it, but hopefully it'll straighten up here in a minute. I'm not getting any more warnings, but I'm going to close down a couple more things here on my end and then see if that helps, as long as I don't close this one down. I'm just seeing what else you guys are saying. Brad's coming in. Hi, Brad. Thanks for coming in, sweetie. I'm needing some guys in here when we start talking about Ben in our script. So listen, if you want the script, it's very minor for you. Okay, so some people are having more trouble with hearing than not. Okay, so hopefully it'll straighten out, and I appreciate you guys letting me know you're out there. All right. Okay. So thanks for tuning in, you guys. I do appreciate that. Let's look at this script for a minute. Again, if you want it, I have pinned a actual comment where you can get it. You can email me. You can go directly to my website, hit contact. Boom. That's generally the easiest. SKHperformancestudio.com. www.SKHperformancestudio.com. And just hit contact. Did I say comment? Contact. And there'll be a page comes up, and it makes it super easy for you guys to get hold of me about whatever you'd like, whatever questions you might have. Okay. All right. So let's look at this script. Now, I thought this script was really good. I really like this script a lot. So what I've done already, if you can see, before class today, I've marked my beats. That's something I teach as well. And I started putting J's, you see the J's, around things I'm going to need to justify. Things that I don't know the answers to, things that are bringing questions to my mind. And that's what we're going to do today. And that's what I want you guys to put in the comment section. When we read this, what questions do you feel come to mind that you don't know the answers to? Okay? So when we start talking about, for an example, Charlotte's mother's suicide, I need to justify that. I got to put that in my character background work, because if I play Charlotte, I certainly would have lived through that horrific experience. And I need to detail that in my character background work. Okay, you guys? So again, that character background work and this justifying a script will really make you feel more and more like the character. And that's where the fun is, because you really aren't playing yourself. Now, here in Los Angeles, they like to say that. They like to say, play yourself under these given circumstances. And that's very Meisner-based too. But I know my stage people like to take on, and I know you, all of us, like to take on a role. We like to be able to feel like that character, walk and move like that character. To think's a dirty word, but for Meisner trained people, but so that you understand what makes that character tick and what has brought them to this moment. Okay? So, I'm just writing down Ben and Charlotte's relationship. How they met, how long they've been married. So this is the kind of stuff we're going to talk about today, kiddos. We're just going to, and I want you to write in questions that came to you. Now, when I go to Talent Managers for Actors, which is, I teach in that group, Talent Managers for Actors. It's a Facebook group that Wendy O'Lane Wright has. It's an incredible group. It's like over 100,000 actors in it. And they do a lot, they do a lot of good stuff for actors in that group. So I'll teach that. We'll finish up this class. We'll finish up this script December 13th, you guys. So when I mean finish it up, we're going to answer the questions that come to mind today. Okay? And sometimes it's hard because you want to answer them right away because your imagination kicks in. Right? Your imagination is what answers. That's the most important tool. Again, Stella Adler says that's our most important tool. And because your imagination will kick in and go, oh, I think they've been married for this amount of time. I think they got married here. You know, where does this take place? What city? What part of the country? What part of your country? If you're coming in from a different place besides the U.S., where does this take place? In your mind. Big city, little city? In the country? Where? Where does it feel like to you? So those are just a couple questions that's already come up to me besides the suicide thing. But let's get in here and read it. And then because I want to hear what you guys are thinking and what you want to justify. Now, we read everything in the script. Everything. And as actors, we read slowly because we're using our imagination to try to imagine everything. We're imagining where this is taking place, right? We're imagining what the kitchen looks like. We're imagining what these characters are wearing. We're imagining this flower bouquet that's dying. And then we also don't take anything for granted that the writer writes. Okay? Being a writer, please don't take anything for granted and don't paraphrase. There's no way, unless the writing just really, really sucks, there's no way you could ever paraphrase something better than a writer has written it. Because trust me, when it's to this point where I'm giving out sides to actors, I have gone over that script multiple times. Many times. So we want to be verbatim on our script because it also shows respect to the writer. Because without the writing, we don't have a story to tell. We just be improvising. You're at a bus stop, go. Okay? Versus a beautiful scene written that takes place at a bus stop. Do you see what I mean? Okay. So I still look like I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties here, guys, so I'm hoping it's not too glitchy and you're able to keep up with me. The current key frame rate is too late. Recommended key frame rate are in a range 1 in every 2 to 4. I don't know. I'll have to look at that the next time I do it, you guys. What I'm doing wrong, I don't know with it, but as long as you can hear me and keep up with me, I don't want to take time to go in and fix it now, even though Facebook is saying I can. I don't want to take time to do it because I don't know exactly what I'm doing. All right. So, interior, Garrett's Manor. Garrett's Manor. Like, what is that? Garrett's Manor. That already sounds creepy. A manor already sounds kind of scary, doesn't it? Okay, so we kind of got to justify that. Like, where is that? What is that? Kitchen next morning. Okay, so something went down. Now, is that where she saw the image of the woman in the mirror for it to be next morning? What does the writer mean by that? So I put a J there to justify that, too. Before I jump in here, I just want to see if you guys are saying that you're still having technical glitches. Oh, Raquel Welch. Oh, okay, Raquel. I got it, baby girl. Good. All right, thanks for coming in, Raquel. All right, guys, I'm hoping that you guys can stay with me and it's all And the glitches won't be too bad as far as audio glitches are concerned. Excuse me. Okay. So we know we're at Garrett's, how do you say that? Garrett's Manor? Kitchen next morning. I would think that next morning means that she saw this vision in the mirror the night before or the day before. That's what I would think, but you guys let me know what you think. Ben continues to work at the table as Charlotte enters. She notices the bouquet of flowers. See, I want to justify that. Why are there flowers there? Did he bring her flowers for some reason? All but the red roses have wilted to death. So what does that mean to you? That only the red roses still remain and all the other flowers are dead. And red roses represent true love, don't they? So maybe their love is still alive, even though there's death around it. Do you see how the writer's painting this beautiful picture for us? She looks at Ben, who intentionally has not recognized her entrance. He knows she's there. He's just ignoring her, right? Charlotte makes her way to the coffee machine and pours herself a cup of coffee. The quiet tension in the room is finally too much. Charlotte says, "Are you even going to talk to me? It's been 2 days. You're not going to say anything?" Ben finally looks up. So Ben's continuing to work, ignoring her, right? And then he finally looks up. "I just don't understand. Moving here was supposed to make you better, us better." And then Ben takes a moment and he continues. "Maybe you should reach out to your doctor again. See about increasing your dosage?" "This has nothing to do with my dosage, Ben." And then Ben says, "Then what is it, Char?" See, we see how it's a question mark and a exclamation point. So he's flustered with her. He's frustrated with her, right? In this situation that's going on. So we play the punctuation here. Then what is it, Char? You haven't acted like this in years. Not since your mother's suicide. Charlotte fights her emotions. "I thought we were making progress, but you won't be honest with me. You won't even be honest with yourself." And then Charlotte says, "I am honest with myself. You're the one that doesn't want to listen when I try to explain. I told you about the woman in the mirror and you completely disregarded it. I told you about it because it's crazy," says Ben. Beat. So right there the writer's giving us a beat. "So you think I'm crazy?" Charlotte says. Ben thinks, "Do you think you're crazy?" Ben says. Then there's another beat. "I'm not worried that I'm crazy, Ben. I'm worried that I'm not." Ben just looks at her. "Sorry. I just can't give any legitimacy to this hocus pocus." Realizing there's no use, Charlotte resists the urge to argue back. Ben gathers his sheet music and packs it up. "I'll be recording with Gator till late." Then Charlotte goes, "Great. Leave, Ben. It's what you're best at lately. Leave, Ben. It's what you're best at lately." So we know that he's been avoiding her and avoiding things, right? Just takes off and goes. So we know by this that Ben's a musician, but what type of musician? Okay, so that's another question. What type of musician is Ben? I want to think he's a rap artist for some reason. I don't know why. You see how you want to answer these questions as soon as they come up? Yeah, I feel like, oh, maybe he's a rap artist. I'm not sure. Okay, so I'll start talking a little bit, and then you guys start punching in questions that's come up about you. Okay, so comes up to you. So I want to know right at the top, like, what were the flowers for? What were the flowers for? Okay. And now they're dead. So how long ago, how long have they been sitting there? So if I make the decision, you guys, that they just had an anniversary and he had bought Charlotte flowers, that to me, from Ben's point of view, is that he's making an effort. He's really trying to make an effort. And it's not being received, right? And the flowers are dying. So it kind of symbolizes there's hope, but not. There's that symbol of that is, I think, pretty strong in there. It's been 2 days. You're not going to say anything. So I'm thinking when she says it's 2 days, I think it's been 2 days since the vision. Okay? So when we say how long ago was this vision, I think the writer is answering that for us, saying 2 days. So we got it. So remember, 2 days ago. So what we're doing like now is we're filling in the blanks that the writer has created for us. Okay, those questions that the writer has not answered, we're going to fill in the blanks for that. Okay, so how long? So I'm thinking the vision was 2 days ago. What was that vision? Ooh, that's huge, right? Okay, so let's write that down. What was the vision? I can't wait for us to answer that. She saw a woman in the mirror, right? Isn't that what it was? Woman in the mirror. Who is this woman? So tell me about that. Now, when you begin to talk about it, you're going to be talking about it from Charlotte's point of view. And if you're playing Ben, you would be doing your character background work from Ben's point of view. Okay, but right now I want you guys to kind of think about either character. Don't matter. It doesn't matter about the gender. Just think about answering these questions if you decided to play Ben or if you were playing Charlotte. But I'm really kind of curious to what this vision is. Who's this woman in the mirror? And it sounds like maybe she's psychic. Don't you guys think? I'm sorry, I just can't give any legitimacy to this hocus pocus. I'm not crazy. But it just feels like she has had these kind of visions before or something, right? Or what Ben might think of, it's not really visions, but hallucinations. That maybe she's on the wrong meds. Or, because he says your meds may need to be increased, or maybe she's on the wrong medication. For what? What kind of meds is she on? Let's ask that question. What type of meds is Charlotte on? Okay. But I would think maybe depression, maybe antidepressants could be something that she could be on because she's been dealing with her mother's suicide too. But we'll talk about that in just a second. Now I'm coming down to Ben's line. I just don't understand it. Moving here was supposed to make you better, us better. So where did they move to? You see how I'm doing this, you guys? Where did they move to? How long ago? It feels like it's kind of new, doesn't it? Doesn't it feel like it's kind of new? Do you think did they completely relocate to another town? Did they live in the same city where the mother committed suicide and there were just so many memories there that they wanted to get out? I'm just throwing that out there. See how I keep answering these questions and I'm trying not to. Where did they, move to? Got that. How long ago? Again, I feel like, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like it's kind of a recent move to me. Moving here was supposed to make you better, us better. So how long has she been? I think her problems maybe have been before her mother's suicide, because if her mother committed suicide, there's mental health issues there already genetically in the family, right? And And we talked about her meds. And then she says there's nothing wrong with her dosage, right? You haven't acted like this in years. So that makes me feel like they've been together, what? How many years, you guys? You haven't acted like this in years. So what, 10 years? 10 years married? What do you think? I think that's pretty good. But that's something we'd want to answer, like how long have they been married? Not since your mother's suicide. So that leaves us to say that the mother's suicide, you haven't acted like this in years since your mother's suicide, would sound like the mother's suicide could have been 10 years ago, too. When was mother's suicide? So, and then it's like, tell me about it. Tell me about what that was. And then if you're playing Ben, you know, are you know, what was it like for you to be with, whether you're dating Charlotte or you're married to Charlotte, what's it like for you to have to go through that suicide as well? You know, if you liked your mother-in-law, it would be pretty horrific for you. I know mother-in-laws and in-laws get a bad rap, but some of them are actually pretty nice. So the suicide was a big deal. Are you guys saying anything to me? Are you punching in anything and saying some stuff? Let's see if I can see where you guys are. Oh, yeah, you're talking to me. I love it. I love it. Cherie's here. Hi, Cherie. Thanks for coming in, girl. I wonder if he regularly gives her the silent treatment. Yeah, that's very passive-aggressive, too, isn't it? When you just ignore somebody like that. It indicative of the state of their communication and relationship and the toxicity of those things, or not, as well as insight into his personality. That's good, Sherry. I like that. Right, and it sounds like it's something he probably does. That's his like way of dealing with it. Right, so let's write down that. How long has Ben been giving her the silent treatment? Which is really messed up too, if you kind of think about it from Charlotte's point of view, because she'd want someone to reassure her in some way. But from Ben's point of view, if he's had moments of this, like maybe 10 years ago, 5 years ago, however long you feel like this, you know, the suicide was, and however long she's been going through this, you know, he doesn't have time for it. And he feels like probably he's already sacrificed maybe his friends, where, you know, depending on what, you know, it feels like a move where they've uplifted themselves into another place, away from people. So if he's left things behind, he can feel like, I've done all this for you, and it doesn't seem like you're getting any better, right? So the sacrifices that Ben has made in order to help her psychologically. Do you see what I mean, guys? Let's see what else you guys are saying. Boop-a-doop-boop-boo-doo. Trying to make it scroll for me, but it's being very particular. What meds? Right, good. We talked about that, Cherie. Good. How long has she been on meds? Does she want to be on meds? Right. That's all good on the meds things. What type of meds? How long? And how does she feel about it? Right. Those are good questions. Okay, let's see what else we got, guys. Savannah, what are you saying? Why did they move in the first place? Yeah. What do I have something about them moving? Vision, blah, blah, blah. Hey. Where did they move to? How long? Why? Well, why did they move in the first place? What does he say here? I don't understand. Moving here was supposed to make you better, us better. Well, they moved because somehow the memories or something there, right, within this writing was too much, and they thought it was going to make her feel better. So the writer sort of answers it for us, but I understand where you're coming from. You want to know, you want to dive into that more. Yeah, dive into that move. Like, what was that about? What brought the move about? What finally was the catalyst that made them move? I'm writing it down. To make them move. Did her psychiatrist say, might be a change, might do her good? Or, there's one thing to like take a vacation, and then there's another thing to move. So it sounds like it was supposed to make you better. So it sounds like also that she's been having these visions, or from her point of view, visions, from Ben's point of view, hallucinations, for on and off for a while. When did they start? Did we put that down? What was the vision? Okay, and then when did these visions start for her? Is a question for me. When did visions start? There's a lot in this script, isn't there? When we start to really dive in. Cherie says, how did her mom commit suicide? Right? How did they find out? Oh, I know all that stuff about the suicide, right? Where was mother's suicide? Right. So definitely talk about the suicide. How did she take her life? And then, right, how did they find out about it? For sure. That's good. All that's good, you guys. Debbie, what do you got? Family history visions? Yeah. Yeah, one of her mother had visions. And the visions drove her to suicide or something. You know what I mean? And then Ben gets afraid of the same thing happening to his wife, too. Trying to ignore or deny, did suicide trigger? Yeah, those are good, Debbie. Right. Did suicide trigger Charlotte's visions? Family history of visions, etc. Trying to ignore or deny. Right. Did suicide trigger the vision, or had she always been psychic since a little kid? These are all good comments, you guys. So let's keep going, and if things come to you, write them down. What are the family history of visions? Right. Let me just write that down. Where's my vision thing? Okay. I like to think family history of visions, that it could be kind of cool. Here I go answering. But it could be kind of cool that her mother saw the visions and the visions drove her to suicide or something like that, and then that would make Charlotte even more afraid of having these visions, because maybe it drove her mother, maybe that's what drove her mother to suicide. So it could be, so just making these choices. What's really fun about character background work, you guys, when you begin to make these choices, you get to play them when you are the character, right? So if I make the decision that I've been psychic my whole life, that's a different thing. If I make a decision that my mother was psychic and super sensitive her whole life, then that's a different thing. Then if I say that my visions didn't start coming on until my mother's suicide, so when I get to this point and he brings up suicide, I get to play that moment of, oh my God, this is when everything started coming apart too. I started seeing things when Mom died. You know what I'm saying? Okay? So all of those are good. Keep writing some stuff down that's coming to you. I thought we were making progress, but you won't be honest with me. You won't even be honest with yourself. And then what is this honest? What do you mean by honest? What's he mean by that? Ben, what does Ben mean by being honest? Being honest meaning you need to get back on drugs. You need to go to the doctor, I think is what Ben is probably saying there. I keep answering the questions. Okay, sorry guys. What does Ben mean by being honest? Right, okay. Oh, great, Tracy. Gemma, good, break legs, girl. Oh my gosh, sorry, daughter. I just got good casting news. Yay! So we're going to have to leave and catch up later. You are most welcome. Thank you guys so much for coming. That's great. I love good news. That's great. I love it. Let me see what else I got here. Okay. Now, I am honest with myself, she says, right? You're the one who doesn't want to listen when I try to explain. So we can see that Ben is, just like, why won't he listen? Why won't Ben listen to her? I don't know if I wrote it down already, but I got to write it down again if I did. Why won't Ben listen to her? I'm not going to answer it. I have it on the tip of my tongue, but I will not answer the question from my point of view, what I think it is. I told you about the woman in the mirror, and you completely disregarded it. So what was that like when she told him? So what was it like when Charlotte told Ben about the vision? Now, you can't really answer this question, you guys, until you know what the vision was from Charlotte's point of view, right? And then once you know the vision from Charlotte's point of view, then you keep going with the character background work. As soon as I saw it, I ran to Ben and I told him. Right? And then what did he do? How did he react to it? Right? Did he run away? Because that's what she said he's good at, running away and avoiding it. But again, it sounds like Ben is very caring. So Ben is not... but he's also at his wit's end because I don't think he knows how to help anymore, does he? Okay. And then we talked about that. I told you because it's crazy. So this is, his justification for all of it is that it's crazy. He dismisses it. It's crazy. I don't want to talk about it. So you can think of him being very grounded, right? And very rooted in now, in the physical, what's happening now. I don't want to know about anything supernatural because I don't believe in it. Okay? So why doesn't Ben believe her? That's a good one too, isn't it? Why doesn't Ben believe her? What's up with that? And that'll give us a little bit of history on all of it that Ben's gone through, dealing with the emotional problems, ups and downs of his wife. I'm assuming they're married, but I guess there's nothing in. I mean, they don't necessarily have to be married. They could just be living together, right, guys? Are you guys see anything in the script that makes us say for sure they're married? They feel very married. The conversation and the argument feels like a very married conversation, doesn't it? I just don't understand. Moving here was supposed to make you better, us better, right? So that's what makes. But they could just be. They don't necessarily have to be married. They could just be been living together for 10 years. So you guys can decide whether they're married or not. Okay. Now let's see where are we now? Okay. I'm not worried that I'm crazy, Ben. I'm worried that I'm not. What does that say to you guys? I'm not worried that I'm crazy, Ben. I'm worried that I'm not. So that vision had to be really, really, really real to her, right? I'm not worried that I'm crazy, Ben. I'm worried that I'm not. I don't know, it almost feels like when she says that almost feels like this is a big thing for her to see this. Like maybe this is the first time she's seen something this big, psychically. Do you know what I'm saying, you guys? I'm not worried that I'm worried that I'm not. I'm sorry, Ben says. I just can't give any legitimacy to this hocus pocus. So again, we can see by his comment there that he is, he's not into this supernatural kind of thing, and not even to the point that he wants to discuss it with his wife. And we're saying, again, in our character background work, or the questions that we're bringing up that we need to justify in our character background work, is why isn't he? Why isn't he? And then you start doing Ben's background. He's a musician and an artist, and we as artists, we kind of go into supernatural and we think about different things, and we're very sensitive and sense things. And so you think as a musician, he might be, I'll be recording with Gator. That's something to justify. Who's Gator? Till late. Is Gator like the sound engineer? Or is Gator his musical partner? So let's write. I don't know if we're right there yet. Does he come from a family that's, lawyers and bankers and people that are very, very practical? That doesn't give over to that type of, again, supernatural event happening. Right, so let me just say, who's Gator? What are they recording? Now, the one thing that I think is interesting is that the writer says he picks up sheet music. Okay, so sheet music. He's picking up sheet music. Now, that makes me feel like he could be what could that be? Sheet music, right? Because I have friends in Austin who are musicians, and they don't write out their music in sheet music. They pick it out and they figure it out and they memorize it and they got it, right? But this is somebody who it has sheet music. So that gives us, I just want to say, justify sheet music. Because that tells us a little bit more about the type of musician he is. Do you see what I mean? Because I'm not to say that he couldn't be a popular, somebody who plays popular music and also also has sheet music and knows notes and can write everything out and creates it for Gator or for the rest of the band that he plays with. So that's up to you guys to decide that. And then finally, the thing I have, well, it's probably not finally because I want to read the rest of what you guys are saying. Leave Ben, it's what you're best at lately. So we want to know, why has Ben been leaving in the middle of arguments? Writing it down. Arguments. It's what you've been doing lately, right? So it's lately. So if we're saying that this vision happened 2 days ago, maybe it's just this, they've been arguing for 2 days, right? And then every time it gets to this kind of heated thing, he takes off, goes someplace. It's not to say that he does, and then from Ben's point of view, it doesn't mean that he does, I'll be recording with Gator till late. It doesn't mean that he doesn't have something scheduled to actually do and needs to go, right? But she's feeling abandoned at the end of it. Let's see what you guys are saying. It'll let me. Sure. Yeah, who is Gator? Very good. What's his relationship with Ben and Charlotte, individually and together? Very good, Shuri. Excellent. Exactly. Right, so we want to know, how does Charlotte feel? Where's Gator? Who's Gator? What are the recording? Charlotte's view or feelings of Gator. Right, so then again, we're talking about, if I decide I don't like Gator and I think he's bad news, okay, that great. It's going to really color the way I say great. Yeah, great that you're going to see that jackass, right? If I don't like him, okay? So again, these choices that we make through justifying our script gives us fun things to play, right? And it gives and piques our emotion too. Let's see, Cherie, what else you saying? in what other circumstances has been left? Exactly. Good, Sheree. You're just kind of right, saying the exact same step. We're on the same wavelength. Very good. Debbie, what do you got? He refuses to believe possibly something in his own past, an experience of sorts blocking it. Yeah. Oh, I like that, Debbie. I like where you're going with that. Like if he had some kind of freaky supernatural thing that happened to him and he blocks all of it because of it. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And that could be really fun for Ben to play. It's like, I don't hocus pocus, because he's got, you'll have a little bit of fear in your voice when you start talking about it. I don't want to know about it because I've had psychic visions or whatever. That's fun. Ben ever had psychic visions or something psychic that he's ignored or freaked him out, or right? All right. Oh gosh, we're running out of time here. Raquel, what do you got, babe? Let me see here. My thoughts are, if she was crazy, then the vision would not be real. But if she isn't crazy, then the visions are real, which is what she's afraid of. Exactly. Exactly. Right, where she's saying what you're commenting on that line. I'm not worried that I'm not crazy, Ben. I'm worried that I'm not worried that I'm crazy, Ben. I'm worried that I'm not. Right. My thoughts are, if she was crazy, then the visions would not be real. But if she isn't crazy, then the visions are real. Right. Right. And this is really upsetting her too, isn't it? Very good. Raquel, what do you got? If crazy, then the visions are actually hallucinations, perhaps. Exactly. Whereas if not crazy, then whatever she is seeing is actually real. Exactly. That's where the supernatural comes in. Ooh, I'd like to think that she's really seeing this woman in the mirror, right? You know she is. You know she is. Oh, I see one of my masterclass students popped in. Hi, Andy. Hope everyone's online is having a happy Thanksgiving. Good. Yeah, I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving as well. These are some good, you guys have been really great. Thank you so much for your comments. I love this. Okay, so let's go over just a few of these that I want you guys to be able to do for the class that I'm doing in Talent Managers for Actors. It's free, Tuesday, December 13th, where we're going to finish up this script. So then from now until December 13th, you can write character background work on both these characters and answer some of these questions, okay? Now, if you're not a member of Talent Managers for Actors, go there and join, because you can't watch unless you're a member of that supportive group. So please go over to the Talent Managers for Actors Facebook group. And I'll be there Tuesday. All my classes are at 1 o'clock, you guys, 1 o'clock p.m. my time here in Los Angeles. Okay, so here's some of the questions, and I hope you guys come up with even more questions, because when you sit with the script, more questions do arise, don't they? They do, they come out. Mari, hi Mari. Simon and I are analyzing. I love it. Get him in there and start analyzing at a young age, 7 months, right? Love you so much. I love you too, sweetheart. So always so nice for you to drop in. That's one of my master students from Minnesota is popping in from long ago. She's a new mom. So proud of you, baby. Okay, so let me go back up here for just a second. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, good. So let's talk about real quick what you guys are going to be justifying over these next couple of weeks, okay? Ben and Shar, how they met, how long they've been married, or are they even married, okay? Where does this take place? What type of musician is Ben? I mean, we talked about that manor, right? Garrett's Manor or Garrett's Manor. That always sounds creepy, like on a hill with a bunch of fog around it, doesn't it? Okay, what type of musician is Ben? And then we talk more about it down here at the bottom of this page about where it's written. And what were the flowers for, right? How long have they been sitting there, right? For them to be dead, but the rose is still alive. How long ago was this vision? We're thinking it was 2 days ago, just based on the script, right? What was the vision? Who is this woman in the mirror? When did the vision start? Did we have a family history of visions, right? We talk about the mom committing suicide. What did that woman say in the mirror? That's what I want you guys to answer. I'm excited to hear your answers to these questions. What type of meds are Char on, right? Or Charlotte? How long? How does she feel about being on medication? Where did they move to? How long ago? What was the catalyst to make them move? Like, what happened to her for him to go, okay, let's move to another place and see if that makes you feel better, right? So then talk to me about the mother's suicide. What was that like? How did she take her life? And then we were talking about, was the mother psychic? And did these visions, that could be kind of a cool secret, because I talk about your characters having secrets and goals. That could be like a really cool secret that Charlotte is keeping from Ben, that she knows her mother was having visions that drove her to suicide. So then that would make, I'm afraid I'm not going crazy, which would make you even more afraid if that's what drove your mother to suicide. You see, you guys, these answers that you have are going to really make these characters come alive. How long has Ben been giving her the silent treatment? What does Ben mean by being honest? Be honest with yourself. And then we've talked about, possibly he's talking about the meds, but what else maybe? Maybe there's something more than just the medication he feels she's not being honest about. And why won't he listen to her, right? Why won't Ben listen to her? What was it like when Charlotte told Ben about the vision? Why doesn't he believe her? And then it was Debbie coming up with stuff that maybe he had some kind of freaky psychic thing that happened to him, and he just closed down. So it all kind of scares him. Who's Gator? Then we start talking about the music, right? Who's Gator? What are they recording? What's Charlotte's view of Gator? Then we would want to know Ben's history. How long have they known each other? Do you know what I mean? Was Gator from the other city that they moved from, or the other place that they moved from, and Gator's driven here or flown to this area where they are now to do music with him? So, and if that's the justification from Ben's point of view, I'll be recording with Gator till late, because he's got to go fly back in 2 days. So we only have a limited time to lay this music down. Do you see what I mean? So just those kind of justifications really will power your delivery of the line, okay? So we're justifying the sheet music a little bit, which will tell us what type of musician Ben is. Why has Ben been leaving in the middle of arguments lately, too? What's going on with that? Has Ben ever had psychic visions? This is back to what Debbie was talking about, that he ignored or freaked him out, okay? Those are some questions that we'll answer December 13th, Tuesday. Now, next Monday is another free class, you guys, right here on my page where you're at right now, Sandra K. Horner Performance Studio International. And it's Monday, December 7th, and we're going to do meditation and visualization. So I designed it especially for entertainers, okay? But anyone and everyone can benefit from this meditation. So it's a really great class, and it's a very positive class. We talk about manifesting and bringing good things into our lives, keeping positive in a business where we're rejected so many times, and how to just pull through a visualization, pull what we hope and desire to us. And then the other thing I got going on, you guys, I was talking to you about the cyber sale that goes on until December 5th. Right, so it's 1 week only. Private coaching, Zoom private coaching is 60% off. So you guys can save $115 by doing this. And so if you want me to review your self-tapes, if you're getting out there and you don't feel like you're getting those callbacks, as many as you want, I can review your self-tapes and give you notes on that. I can teach you intentions, beats, character background work, auditioning techniques. It'll make you stronger in the room and stronger with your self-tapes. And you can let me know what you to work on. Directors, if you're directing, intention is a great class to learn because you begin to speak in verbs, which really helps move your direction along and makes it clearly click with the actor. And then writer directors, if you want to come in and talk about pitching, you want to talk about your script with me, that's another reason to use it. Now, you can use these. They're good for 6 months, so you can buy them now and hang on to them so that when you have an important audition coming up, you can get a hold of me and I'll be right there to help you break the script down and go over it with you so that you're very powerful with your audition or call back or shoot. You know, sometimes you get cast in something and you're like, oh man, I need help in breaking down this whole script and character development and all that. So I'm here to help you with that as well. And then if you want to dig in, January 31st, I start, which is a Tuesday, from 5 to 7:30, my time here in California, is that in-depth 12-week class, which is script analysis, auditioning, marketing, and meditation. And it's really, I teach for stage, but I also teach on camera because it's already on Zoom, so I help you to find that stillness. And we work close-ups, we do commercial auditions, we do a co-star breakdown. So it's a lot of fun, as well as me teaching you the 6 steps to a quick audition, 7 steps to once you're cast, 5 steps to a successful audition. So 6 steps to breaking down a script really quickly. So I can help you break down a script if you have it for 10 minutes or if you have it for overnight, so that you can really approach that and nail it and knock their socks off. Marketing, I give you tips on ways in that's a little bit what I call infiltrating. So some things that I've done as a writer that's gotten me into Sony and Paramount and Warner Brothers and all these different studios that I've pitched and have scripts at. So there's some secret stuff that I go over. And then of course meditation, we do that for concentration mainly because it quiets your mind, of course, and pulls you into the moment, so you begin to understand that really what it feels like to be in the moment, as well as visualizing your success. So all of that, if you guys need to, go to my website, skhperformancestudio.com. You can contact me from there. You can look at these classes that I'm talking about from there, and I'd love to help you get better and become even more successful. Okay, so thank you so much for coming out today and listening to me. It makes it so much more fun, you guys, when you guys comment. I love it how your minds work because you guys work differently than me. Let me see what else you got. Savannah, what are you saying? Can I apply the character background on absolutely to a monologue? Her question was, can I apply the character background work on a monologue? Absolutely. I do character background work on commercial copy. Why am I a scientist? How did I create the Bayer migraine, extra strength migraine formula? All of that. I use this technique. The techniques that I teach is for everything. The techniques are for everything that you guys are doing as far as breaking down a script, any script. Even if it's one line, you can use script analysis to break that script down. Okay? And it'll just make you more powerful in the room. Again, this kind of homework, you guys, this is the stuff that I teach that you'll beat out 90% of your competition if you'll do the work that I teach, especially in the 12-week class, without a problem. And then from the 12-week class, if you'd like to stay in the studio, it's by invitation. I have an intermediate class and master class. As you saw, there's a couple master class students that dropped in today. And then that's intermediate is all application of everything you learned in the 12 weeks. So it's a lot applying to a lot of scripts. We work a close-up to shooting levels so that you understand how to the stillness of a close-up, how you're not supposed to blink during a close-up, which is really tough, and all of that kind of stuff, as well as if auditions we do. And then masterclass, we do a lot of scene study work in that, but also we do performance. And right now in masterclass we're working on reels, so that people will have comedic reel scenes. So we're writing them and getting ready to shoot them, and then we perform for the veterans here in Los Angeles. So we create Zoom sketches so that people, if they can't get to LA, we'll have a sketch where they can zoom in because there's a big screen in the rec room where we perform so that they can see you and all the funny things that we're going to do. So that's what we're working on right now in masterclass, and I think I'm going to throw them a last minute scene here just to mess with them for a Wednesday night class. So thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. Abigail, here's another masterclass actor coming in. Hi, Abigail. coming in from Houston, Texas. Baby girl, I miss you. I hope you come back to class real soon. Did you enjoy it, Debbie? Thank you so much. Immensely. I love that. I hope you'll think about coming and working with me. I'd love to give you even more than I gave you today, kids. So anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. I generally do about an hour on these free classes. And again, reach out to me if you want the free script so that you will be right on top of what we're doing. Also at the top here, I put overall intentions. Intentions, Robert Lewis says, is the most important element of the acting craft. Most important element of the acting craft. So if you don't know how to do intention work, you totally need to come work with me, because that is what's going to get you called back for sure, if not booked. Okay? So at the top, I put an overall intention, objective, subtext, action, verb. What are you fighting for? What are you doing? Your motivation. All of that means the same thing. Robert Lewis says intention. What do I intend to do to you? Okay? So I was thinking about that, and maybe we'll talk about that in Tuesday's class on December 13th, about when I know what I'm doing and what I want, how much richer and fuller the read is, because I'm fighting for something. I want something in this situation. And both of these characters definitely want something from the other character. And we can see that, and that's what causes the friction. Because they don't get it. That causes a really great conflict, doesn't it? Okay. All right, you guys. I don't know. Can you hear this bell? That's my thank you for coming in. If you can hear the bell, that's my thank you for being here in class today. That bell goes for all of you guys for being here today. And thank you so much. And I hope to see you this Monday, 1 o'clock, right here on my page for meditation and visualization. And you'll leave feeling so much more peaceful. So I hope you'll join me on the 7th, December 7th. Okay? All right, kids. Take it easy. Be positive. Love you so much. Be around positive people. Stay positive yourself. And I'll see you back here hopefully December 7th. Okay, thanks again for tuning in. Bye-bye.